Being a child of the 60s, I love watches that come from that generation. From the 1960s, they had the skin divers, and what I have in my hand here is a classic skin diver reimagined. It's made out of titanium, it's got sapphire, it's a 39mm. It's a really, really lovely experience on the wrist. I've been wearing it on the wrist all week, and I want to share my thoughts on this watch. It's a new startup company. The watch itself is called SHEK-O Matic. That's right, you heard, SHEK-O Matic. And there's a reason behind that name, which I'll share in the review. But without further ado, let's run the intro. Let's check out this skin diver from ROIH. Welcome back, guys. So as you can see here, we've got this brand new startup company. The name of the company is called ROIH, or Roots of Industrial Heritage. And what that means is this company is basically going back to the roots of when the skin divers were originally created. Back in the era of the 60s, the 70s, when these were popular, and they're reimagining it, recreating something from that era. And I think they've done a really great job. This particular watch here, I've had it on the wrist for about a week. It's been a wonderful experience, coming in at about 90 odd grams, really light on the wrist, titanium, 39mm, a great profile. I really can't fault it in that regard. There are a couple of things that need to be changed, which I'm going to address in my likes and dislikes. But before we get started, the watch itself has been sent to the channel. That's all I get as far as a benefit. There is no other benefit for me, but I'm going to share that, be transparent with you guys. Again, it won't influence my review. I'll tell you straight out what I think. So before we get started on the watch, I'll show you guys the box, the packaging. I quite like this because it's simple, and yet there's a lot of thought gone into this. It's made out of cardboard. As you can see, it's got an elastic band that goes around it. It slides out. There you go. We've got your warranty. That's it there. SHEK-O Matic. And we've also got in here just 2 parcels. That's where the actual watch went. Your spare links and this spare black water resistant Cordura strap. It's woven. It's very comfortable. I've had this on the watch itself. I think appropriate to the era, which is really cool. But I've worn it mostly on the actual titanium bracelet, which is fantastic. But they've also got, as you can see, they've got some spare pin and collars in here. It's a pin and collar bracelet, and they've got spare pin and collars, which I think is quite cool because that's one of the things that I usually lose with a lot of Seiko watches that I have pin collar or even the pin system. I tend to lose these, and they've got a few spare ones, which is quite thought out nicely. So let's put this aside. Having so many watches come through my hands on a weekly basis, this is the sort of stuff that suits my daily lifestyle, and I'm the sort of person who's hands-on with the things that I do, and I bang my watches up. And coming in at a titanium watch like this, I enjoy something that's robust, but also that it's, like I said, relatively inexpensive. We can use this at the beach, we can use this in our daily wear, a desk diver, it doesn't matter. But I'll get into its specs. Firstly and foremost, the name SHEK-O Matic. The name comes from a beach in Hong Kong called SHEK-O. So they basically named it after that, but the brand itself is called ROIH, or Roots of Industrial Heritage. Like I explained, that's basically, they're going back to the original roots of the 60s and 70s when these things were first designed, and they've tried to reimagine it and bring something into the modern era, and I like it. I like it a lot, but there are some things that we'll have a look at which I'd like to change. But let's get stuck into its specs. What we have is a case diameter I measure exactly at 39mm. The case height comes in at 13.4mm. The lug-to-lug distance is 50mm, and the lug width is 20mm. So those specs are quite interesting because the lug-to-lug distance is 50, which is quite long. And I actually like that. I really like that on watches of this particular era because I think that's appropriate. And on the wrist, having an 18cm circumference wrist, this thing sits superb. On my wrist, 50mm lug to lug is not an issue, and the height coming in at 13.4mm. Gee, I've not even felt this on the wrist, and it's been, I think that's part of the attractiveness with certain watches. When you put them on and you feel them and you wear them, and when it's a pleasure, you tend to bond a lot better with certain watches. When it's a burden, when watches are either big, cumbersome, heavy, you know, it becomes an annoyance. So again, visually is the first thing that attracts us to watches. We have to look at something and be attracted to it, and this thing here, I'm liking what I'm seeing. So, but the wearing experience has been great. As you can see, the height, the strap, the bracelet itself basically tapers from 20 mil down to 15.8 mil. So it's got that classic heavy taper. It's got a clasp, as you can see, with a fully milled clasp here, but it only features 3 micro adjustments, and that's one of my gripes, that gee, it would have been nice to have something a little bit more flexible. Although in saying that, I've not had an issue with it, but that could present a problem. I think a couple more would have been nice on this particular unit. Now the bezel on the watch is a 120 click unidirectional bezel, so it only goes in one direction, and I'll show you guys the action. It's a very muffled sound and very easy to sort of move around. There's hardly any backplay, which is good, but the action of it, very easy. In fact, I found throughout the week that as I was wearing the watch, let's line it up. As I was wearing the watch throughout the day, on certain days I saw it and it was there. So it moved by itself. So that's one thing to mention, that I think that needs to be addressed. It could be a little bit tighter in its ratcheting, but as far as accuracy, it's spot on. You know, it clicks every marker, not an issue. So let's get that right. There you go. Now the dial on this is a matte black sand textured dial. It has applied baton indices that are filled with Swiss Superluminova BGW9. The hands, as you can see, they're pencil hands, again with BGW9. And the thing that stands out, as you can see, that seconds hand, that gilt seconds hand, or basically gold plated seconds hand, which corresponds to that gold plated crown. So, you know, they've tried to match it up and give it some sort of a variety, a little bit more of a unique look. Now the crystal is a boxed sapphire crystal, and it's originally I didn't even think, see, I don't look at the specs of a watch. What I do is I take it out of the box, I wear it and start using it. And throughout the weekend, as I was wearing this, I thought, gee, I'm surprised I haven't scratched it. I thought it was plexiglass. It feels and looks, it's got a nice warmth, a softness that it brings to this dial, and I thought, it's amazing that they've actually put plexiglass on this, and it's not, it's actually sapphire. So that surprised me when I read their specs. I thought, gee, no wonder, well, number one, no wonder I haven't scratched it. Number two, very nice job. So it's got an anti-reflective coating on the underside. It seems to be doing a good job. It seems to be doing an okay job, so I haven't had any issues with that throughout the week. The movement, SHEK-O NH35 instruments, and we'll, there you go. As you can see, we can hack the movement with 2 clicks. We can adjust the time, lock that in. The hand winding experience, as you'd expect from an NH35, they're strong, they're robust, and even changing, let's just get this out of the zone, there you go. Even changing the date, 28th, 29th, nice positive clicks. So the latch down experience on the crown has been great, and that crown is a 6.5 millimeter. So it's been a real pleasure to use. It feels like a petite, refined experience. That's been my final word on this watch throughout the week. I've enjoyed what I've used, and I've had it in the water. I've had it at the beach. I've used this watch. I've enjoyed it so much that I've actually used it anywhere in any place. So that's been really good. Now getting back to that lume, I'll show you guys a quick lume shot of the watch. As you can see, it was BGW9 Superluminova, and look, it's quite nice. I think the triangles are doing a great job. The hands are fantastic. The batons for me could have been a little bit more intensity, would have been nice. But apart from that, the legibility is good. Navigating yourself around that dial, there is no problems. But I'll tell you guys my likes and dislikes of the watch, and look, the likes, there's plenty of them. The classic dimensions, you know, the size of 39 mil, you know, extended lug to lug. I like that, I really do. The fact that it's nice and thin, well, it's not thin, it's 13.4 millimeters. I measure from the top of that sapphire to the bottom of that case back, as you can see. And even though it says 13.4, it really, it felt like a 10 mil watch. It felt like a 10 mil watch on the wrist all week. That's probably one of the reasons I've not wanted to take it off. It's been really cool. The side profile I like. The fact that it's got drilled lugs for quick release, yeah, that's been really good. So strap changes, I've put it on the actual Cordura strap, which has been nice, but I've thoroughly enjoyed it on this particular bracelet. It's been great. I've had no issues. The dial layout I like, so these are some of my my likes. And lastly, that comfort. That bracelet has been very comfortable, albeit it's got 3 micro adjustments. So, but the dislikes, the things that I would really love to see changed on this, number one, the bezel. Way too easy. It's really too easy to move, guys, and I have found it out of place throughout the week as I've been using the watch. So that's something that I think needs to be addressed. Slightly tighter spring or resistance. The clasp itself, look, forget the fact that it's got 3 micro adjustments. Okay, that I can live with that. I've moved on, but the fact that the clasp itself, when you actually depress it, there's quite a bit of force you need to do to push this down. And I found throughout the week, especially when you're putting it on the wrist, just like that, it's quite a bit of force to actually get it to lock in. So whether that's a pre-production model and I've got something an issue here, but that's something that again could potentially create a problem or needs to be looked at. There you go. See, so that's required a bit of force. The fact, look, I like the dial, I like the layout. I love the layout. I love the way this is looking. I would have loved to see this without a date. 12/3/69, beautiful, beautiful. I think it's screaming. This watch is screaming no date. So that's another one of my sort of dislikes, and that's a personal thing. But the lume, I think that it definitely needs a little bit more lume, especially in the batons, and possibly that inverted triangle at the top could use a little bit more lume. And that's about it. That's about it. As far as a really sexy, nice looking watch, a really pleasurable experience, it has been. It's been a joy to use. I'm going to leave all the links in the description, guys. The Kickstarter campaign. The price comes in at the super early birds, $329, which I think is fantastic for what you're getting. The strap, the actual watch itself with the bracelet as well. So I think it's a really cool offering. After the Kickstarter, obviously it's going to go up to its recommended retail of $529. So I'll leave all those links in the description. Let me know your thoughts, guys. I wanted to share this watch with you. It's the Roots of Industrial Heritage, the SHEK-O Matic, a very, very nice reimagined classic skin diver. So leave your thoughts in the comments, guys, and until next time, stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video.